Davis and Garcia are once again at the forefront of boxing discussions, with the stakes higher than ever following their dramatic and record-shattering clash in March 2023. The rivalry between these two young stars has ignited a fire that continues to burn with intensity. Their first fight wasn't just a battle of two top-tier fighters, it was a showdown of contrasting personalities, fan bases, and fighting styles. Their initial encounter not only shattered records, but also created waves that continue to resonate, leaving fans eagerly anticipating the possibility of a rematch. In their first fight, Davis and Garcia delivered an unforgettable spectacle. Garcia, known for his lightning-fast reflexes and brash confidence, came out swinging early, trying to overwhelm Davis with speed and aggression. But Tank Davis, ever the patient and calculated fighter, stood his ground. Davis displayed exactly why he's earned his Tank moniker, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. That moment came in the second round when Davis delivered a huge knockdown, shifting the momentum in his favor. By the seventh round, Davis ended the contest with a perfectly placed body shot, sending Garcia to the canvas and securing a TKO victory. The aftermath of the fight wasn't just about the result, it was about the story that followed. Garcia's defeat stung, but what stung even more was how it unfolded. Garcia has since vocalized his frustration, claiming that the rehydration clause and weight cut were significant factors in his loss. He argued that the fight wasn't on fair terms and pushed hard for a rematch. His comments and actions have kept the fire of this rivalry alive, especially after Garcia showed up to Davis's latest fight wearing a shirt that boldly read, "Rematch me." Davis, ever the confident champion, didn't hesitate to respond on social media, making it clear that he would be open to a rematch, but only if the price was right. He demanded a whopping $150 million. The announcement turned heads, with some fans questioning whether it was a ridiculous demand or a savvy move, given the financial success of their first fight. For Davis, this was about securing a payday that reflected the massive draw the two fighters represent. After all, the first fight had made both boxers tens of millions of dollars, breaking records for ticket sales and pay-per-view buys. Then, out of the blue, Saudi Arabia entered the scene, and the plot thickened. Reports surfaced that Alal Sheikh, a prominent figure in Saudi Arabia's entertainment scene, had agreed to meet Davis's financial demand. Saudi Arabia, known for attracting major events and high-profile athletes, had become a key player in this boxing drama. The idea of hosting the rematch in Saudi Arabia sparked its own set of controversies. Critics argued that the country was using sports as a distraction from its human rights issues, while others pointed out that fighters often prioritize the enormous paychecks offered by Saudi events over political concerns. Despite the controversy, the offer was too tempting for Davis and Garcia to ignore. A fight in Saudi Arabia would not only be a financial windfall, but also a global spectacle. The location, the money, and the sheer scale of the event would make it one of the biggest boxing matches in history. However, there's a complication. For Garcia, his suspension. Garcia tested positive for a banned substance following his fight with Devin Haney, and his suspension has sidelined him until April of the current year. As a result, any fight between Garcia and Davis would have to wait until after his suspension ends. Even so, Garcia has remained relentless in his push for a rematch, continuing to stay in the public eye and making it clear that he wants another shot at Davis. But for all the anticipation surrounding the potential rematch, one question remains. Is this fight really just about boxing, or is it more about pride? For Garcia, it's clear that the first loss left a bitter taste, one that he is eager to erase. For Davis, the rematch offers another opportunity to solidify his place as one of the top fighters of his generation. The drama between the two has added another layer to their rivalry. Davis, a fighter known for his cool demeanor, knockout power, and precise technique, stands in stark contrast to Garcia, who is explosive and unpredictable. The clash of styles between the two makes the prospect of a rematch all the more exciting. Davis's fans admire his patience and ability to control the tempo of the fight, while Garcia's supporters love his speed and flair. Both fighters bring something unique to the table, and when these styles collide, it's pure fireworks. However, not everyone is convinced that the rematch will live up to the hype. Critics argue that Garcia has been too focused on making excuses for his loss rather than improving. Garcia has made it clear that he feels the first fight wasn't fair, citing the rehydration clause and weight issues. Some have questioned whether he is fully focused on his craft, given his emphasis on the circumstances surrounding his loss. On the other hand, Davis's demand for a $150 million payday has also raised eyebrows. Some believe he's using this as an excuse to avoid the fight or to drive up the stakes even higher. However, regardless of these criticisms, one thing is clear: the boxing world is watching. The drama between Davis and Garcia has taken on a life of its own, and the prospect of a rematch has fans eagerly anticipating what will come next. Both fighters are determined to prove themselves, and with the storylines surrounding their rivalry, it's clear that their eventual showdown will be one of the most highly anticipated matches in recent memory. One thing is clear: the boxing world is deeply invested in the saga between Gervonta, Tank Davis, and Ryan Garcia. Fans are eagerly awaiting the possibility of a rematch, and if it happens, it will undoubtedly be one of the biggest sporting events of the year. Saudi Arabia's involvement in hosting the event would ensure global attention, and the immense financial stakes involved would make this an unprecedented occasion in the world of boxing. However, beyond the spectacle, this fight is about the story, the larger narrative that has captivated the sport's audience. The central question remains: can Garcia redeem himself and prove he's better than he showed in their first encounter? Or will Davis continue to assert his dominance, solidifying his place among boxing's elite? Fans are left speculating, with many already imagining the drama of a potential rematch. But as this story unfolds, another layer of intrigue has begun to emerge surrounding Davis's retirement claims. Davis, who has hinted at retiring by the end of 2025, has fueled even more speculation about his future. His recent comments about potentially stepping away from the sport have been met with disbelief, especially from fellow fighters like Devin Haney. Haney has openly voiced his opinion that Davis is using the retirement talk as a ploy to garner attention or gain leverage in negotiations. The timing of these comments has raised eyebrows, especially with so many lucrative matchups still on the horizon for Davis. A potential fight against Haney, a rematch with Garcia, or even a showdown with Shakur Stevenson could all become career-defining events. Retirement at just 30 years old seems premature to many in the boxing world, as Davis remains one of the most marketable and exciting fighters today. His popularity, combined with his hunger for legacy, suggests that he's far from done. Haney, at just 26, has already established himself as a two-weight world champion and is eager to face Davis in the ring. However, Haney himself has faced a fair share of controversies, including a chaotic bout with Garcia that ended in a non-title fight after Garcia missed weight. Haney went on to win the fight, but the drama between him and Garcia has only heightened the anticipation for a showdown with Davis. But Haney's motivations and criticisms of both Garcia and Davis's hefty purse demands have raised questions about the underlying tensions in this rivalry. One key sticking point for Haney is fairness. He has called for Garcia to enroll in a strict anti-doping program before any rematch can take place. This is not just about a potential fight with Garcia, it's about clearing up the mess created by Garcia's doping scandal. Haney has made it clear that if Garcia wants to compete at the highest level again, he must prove that he's clean. The tension between Garcia, Haney, and Davis has created a whirlwind of drama that often overshadows their actual boxing abilities. Fans, at times, have grown tired of the incessant back and forth on social media, the public insults, and the constant grandstanding. What was once a rivalry based on athletic prowess has increasingly been dominated by petty grievances and personal attacks. The public spectacle has left some feeling that the focus has shifted away from the fighter's skills and the sport itself. As this saga continues, one thing is certain: the boxing world is on the edge of its seat, eagerly awaiting the next chapter. Davis and Garcia's first fight set the bar incredibly high, and if the rematch does happen, it will be an event like no other. However, beyond the boxing ring, this rivalry has captured the imagination of fans, drawing in audiences with its drama, passion, and intrigue. The stakes are higher than ever, and whether Davis and Garcia meet again in the ring or not, this rivalry will undoubtedly continue to shape the boxing landscape for years to come. The potential rematch is just the beginning of what promises to be a DeFi.